ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲನೆ
Hyderabad Express, University Station, Netaji Bhogle.
The defending champions are off the mark. KKR came out like very obedient students who had studied very well for this exam. They won the toss, bowled well, restricted RR to 151. They came out to bat and with complete ease have chased this down with 2.5 overs to spare. Thanks to what Quinton Kock's done, another 97 not out. You all are watching Voltas FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami, Kher, and I've got two students who always pass with flying colours when they talk about cricket. Welcome back, Simon and Harsha. All KKR fans can breathe.
You know,
and be relaxed.
In my ear, I just heard.
Wonder who that was, though.
Cricbuzz is the KKR, mostly KKR, mostly RCB thing. But it's a very, very good win for a couple of key reasons. A win is always good. So now you've got 2 points on the board. But the way Quinton Kock batted, if he can continue batting like this, he's come into this tournament with sort of iffy kind of form behind him. So that's a big plus, the form of Quinton Kock. And the spinners, I thought, the moment they got a bit of a chance, they bowled beautifully.
Well, Simon, the bowlers did it for them. When you have 151, it can be tricky. But at the back of your mind, you know it's a score that has been chased down easily. So all in all, everything went well for KKR.
Yeah, it's a score that should have been chased. When you've lost your first game, there's just a little bit of added pressure. It just needs a high-quality innings, and we've seen exactly that from Quinton Kock. There was a little bit of pressure early on. I thought Jofra bowled a really nice opening spell. They were relatively tight inside that power play. Didn't let Moeen Ali get away at all. But the whole while, Quinton Kock just sort of sat there, put the bad ball away, didn't take too many risks, and when he needed to, was able to find a boundary. It was set up by the bowling unit to have a good win like that without Sunil Narine, I think is another big positive for Kolkata. So, yeah, they'll be feeling pretty good about that. It's quite comprehensive in the end, a little bit more comprehensive than perhaps it looked like at the halfway stage, but they'll be feeling pretty good.
You know, the other thing, it's tough to draw a conclusion from someone who's made 22 of 17 balls. Gee, he looked in complete control. This young kid, Ankrish Raghuvan, she's a good player.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Even last season, like I said, proper cricketer, so it's always so good to watch him. But like Simon said, it was set up by the bowlers. But I can tell you something, that we're pretty nervous as KKR fans. 151 can always be tricky, but someone who was extremely cool got this win for them, which is why Quinton Kock is our coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir Coolers, powerful air throw, ultimate comfort. Yet another 97 of 61. Milestones are just a thing of the past, clearly. He wasn't chasing that 100 at all. Harsha, you were sitting right there. Shreyas did it yesterday.
97 is the new 100.
97 is the new 100.
97 is the new 100. Yeah, true. But honestly, it doesn't matter. I mean, I know we were talking to Michael yesterday about how much in India we revere hundreds, we pray at the altar of hundreds. Now, you won a game with 97. Well done. I don't think there's anybody in that change room thinking, I should have got 3. If you get 100 in the course of winning a game, that's fine. But I don't think anyone's taking away anything from either Shreyas' 97 or this one. It's a big plus for KKR that Quinton Kock is in form.
Well, Simon, he almost looked like he was playing on another pitch because the highest run getter for Rajasthan was 33. He's got 97 and he looked like he was completely at ease.
Yeah, there was small moments, I think, through the early part of the innings where he might have looked a little unsure, but very, very rarely. And once he'd got the pace of the pitch, and there was a couple of moments of running between the wickets that were a little bit sketchy. A little bit sketchy with Mo. But once he got the pace of the surface, and, you know, as Harsha said, coming into the tournament in the last sort of 14 months or so, I'm glad they brought it up on commentary, actually, because players who retire from international cricket and don't have that real competitive edge of cricket around the world to then come into what is the best T20 tournament in the world, they find it hard. And a lot of very, very highly skilled and very top quality international players have found it difficult to come into this tournament having retired from international cricket and not had that build-up that they need. So after a pretty tough little period of time, and he had an awful SA20.
Yeah. Didn't he even drop down the order in between?
I think he did,
I think he batted 4.
It was under 200 runs in 10 matches, I think, in the SA20. So he's obviously maybe felt that, done a little bit of work coming into this, had a really good build-up, and it's shown now. After a failure in game 1, it's shown in game number 2. So, you know, it just takes a little bit of time on these occasions to think about what is needed, the preparation, and all of those things to still perform at this level, because it's like turning up to a World Cup.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, it is like turning up to a T20 World Cup, because every team you come up against has got a superstar or two in their ranks as far as bowling's concerned, high quality batters. You've got the best players, you know, predominantly most of the best players in the world here. So if you turn up and you're undercooked or under par, you'll get found out very, very quickly.
Yes.
And
So
don't underestimate the small partnerships, small contributions, because you can't afford to lose 2-3 wickets in a heap. Just looking at the partnerships, opening 40. I know Moin didn't do very much. The partnership was 40, then 29, and then 83 where Ankush has made 22. But even those 40 and 29, they ensured that you're not 30 for 3. So let's not underestimate the small contributions made in a run chase.
well, those are always very crucial. But while watching those partnerships, when Quinton de Kock was on strike, those sixes that he was hitting on the leg side, I could hear you go, what a shot, yaar, twice. But just those shots got those reactions out of us, because those sixes were just clean hitting shots, and it's such a delight to watch him when he hits the ball clean.
And Doull on a slowish surface. I mean, you can understand the last 2 sixes he hit off Archer.
Yes.
But on a slowish surface to hit the sixes is not that easy. He hit 6 sixes today. So I think that would have been a standout feature.
The ones off the spinner were very good. The first one off Archer, I think it was Archer's second over, when he'd been all over Moeen Ali, and he bowled him a short ball, and he just sort of sat back and whacked it over a wideish long on. It was like 146 kilometres per hour. That's when you know Quinton de Kock has found something, and he's found some form. But he was ultra cool, and you know what you want in a chase like that is the ease of not putting pressure on numbers 5, 6, 7, and you know, or losing 2 or 3 wickets in a row. Those little partnerships that Harsha talked about, and what he did carrying his bat all the way through there, that'll give them a bit of confidence.
Well, he was
forward.
very cool with the bat, but I have to say that moment behind the stumps, I thought that was even more cool, because high up there, the Rian Parag catch, he takes off his helmet, says, all right, I have all the time, and coolly goes under and catches it. How rarely do we see that, taking off that helmet, having so much time.
But he pulled it off. Did he ever take his eyes off the ball, though? I think when the ball's in the air...
There was at one point when he looked a little
maybe just
down.
briefly, because when the ball's in the air, you take your eyes off. It takes you time to refocus on that ball. But he had it covered. I mean, he took the helmet off because it can come in the way sometimes.
Yeah,
people take the cap off sometimes.
Sam and I mentioned this. I talked about it in the com box. So the helmets for the keepers have got a smaller peak on them. So they make a keeper's helmet which has got quite a small peak on it. So you can generally see, but when it goes straight up, it's not as easy. I missed it live. Did he not have his chin strap? Because with
I
the
think
gloves
he had
on,
a chin strap, because he did this and
so
then
he's got the
took it
gloves
off.
on,
Yes.
and he's been able to get the chin strap off and get the helmet off.
Which sounds very difficult.
It is very difficult
Well-
to be able to do that. But yeah, ultra cool under pressure.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of keepers throw a cap off.
Yeah.
But this is tougher to do.
Yeah. So should there be a petition to unretire Quinton de Kock after seeing that knock? You know, just the greedy cricket fan in you says, you're playing so well, why are you retiring?
He's taken a call. He's taken a call that he thinks is right. You move on. But the only issue with Quinton de Kock being the coolest player, if he's player of the match, is the person who's got to do the interview afterwards. He's very hard work. He's a better batter than speaker, but if he's batting like this, who cares?
Yeah, well, if he's batting like this and he maintains to be this cool, that's all that KKR want, because he's gotten them home, which is why he was our coolest performer, powered by Voltas, FreshAir coolers, powerful air throw, ultimate comfort. But we said that this is going to be tricky, and then we spoke about those partnerships. I want to have a look at that batting card, because like you said, those little partnerships were very crucial, because at the halfway point, they were 70. Their power play didn't go too well. So those partnerships were crucial today.
They were. So look at Quinton de Kock and Ajinkya Rahane, 29 of 24, of which he makes 18 of 15. Because I think he had decided at that point, Rahane, that I'll go for it. Quinton, you bat through, I'll go for it. Because obviously as the Indian batter on a slow Indian surface, you've got to take the lead over... I mean, Quinton Cock's played all over the world. He's played millions of IPL games. But I think that was the objective there, that Rahane will take the lead and try and get a move on. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. I think he hit 1-6. He got out going for the other one. So, yeah, from that point of view, it worked well.
Well, they started really slow, and those were not our predictions at all. We thought with the opening combinations, they'll be aggressive. But they picked it up. We see it here in the innings progression, that they picked it up from the 7th over onwards.
Yeah, it was a slow start. But the only thing that could have derailed Kolkata was losing wickets. And although, as Harsh has mentioned, 40 for no loss in a power play, you think, not that fast, but you're chasing 152 and you haven't lost a wicket in the power play. They can lose the game. They can't win the game in the power play, but they can lose it by losing 2 or 3 wickets. And I think that was the key. Although Moeen didn't look like he was sort of in any kind of rhythm and was swinging and missing and playing and missing, the partnership of 40 actually did the job. It saw off a good spell from Archer, and they didn't let him get a wicket. So in the long run, it actually did the job for them, although it might not look pretty from Moeen Ali's point of view.
Weird run out, wasn't it?
Oh,
It was a weird run out because he didn't seem in a hurry
Felt
to
like
get
a
back.
slow motion.
The bowler, I don't think the bowler realized the run out was on. I mean, he just said, no, okay. So it was a very weird run out, but I think a few years ago he might have turned quicker.
But well, he wasn't finding his rhythm, but someone else who didn't find his rhythm at all today was Hasaranga.
Yeah.
We spoke about it in the mid-match show. You said that you're not too sure how he will go, but he came, the first ball he bowled was that loosener which went for a 4, and then he just didn't quite find that rhythm, did he?
There. He wasn't there. I've seen this, and we talked about it briefly on Indian tracks over the years. The finger spinners tend to get more on these slow pitches. Look at Riyan Parag, by no means a proper frontline finger spinner, and he bowled 3 overs for 16 before he went for 9 in his last over. So the game had to be won by Tikshana and Hasaranga. And if you look what's happened there, 4 overs 32, 3 overs 34. So 7 overs for 66 at about 9.5 and over.
Yep.
There's the game gone.
But Simon, do you feel they should have maybe used Sandeep Sharma? I know they were leaving him for the back end, but considering that things weren't quite going right for Hasaranga, use the...
Yeah, well, the back end was never going to come. Unless they got wickets, the back end was never going to come. So you've got to fire all your guns. You've got to try and do something a little bit different. And, if you're saving someone for a time that never happens, it's a waste when he's been one of your better bowlers. I thought Riyan Parag bowled really nicely, actually, but Sandeep's been pretty good in both games. He was reasonable in game number 1 and what was, a bit of carnage going on in and around him. And Parag was pretty good today. Jofra, what did he go for? 70 what in game 1?
76 in the first
76.
game.
4 overs 76.
Yes.
Gone 13s today, so he's averaging 15s.
And he was 2 overs for 6, I think, or 2 overs for 5. Or
Yeah.
His first over was really good.
Yeah.
The first over that he bowled.
No, he went for 6 in his second over. He went for 17 of those 3 balls. So he was sort of 2 over 16, but he bowled the first over really well.
Yeah, it's just lack of wickets. I mean, that's all it was. They needed wickets up front and were unable to get them. And as soon as those little partnerships continued, it was going to be tough work. But I think he could have perhaps bowled Sandeep a little bit earlier.
Do you think Riyan Parag's captaincy, just the inexperience of maybe shuffling his bowlers around, kind of?
Could be. It's always easier said when you look at a scorecard like that. If you look at it, as I said, on paper, he would have thought, right, I brought Tikshana in early. I waited as soon as the power play was over. I brought Hasaranga in. These are my 2 spinners. We paid a lot of money for them. So these are my 2 spinners. We've got to win it. So even if Hasaranga has bowled a bad over, you still stay with him thinking he might win me the game. So from that point of view, I don't think he had chance. He had too much, he did too many degrees of freedom. I thought he bowled well himself, but they just need something more in their bowling. They punted heavily on Archer. They need Archer to come back in form quickly because both Archer and Hasaranga, and I think we said that in our previews as well, they've got a team of talented but temperamental bowlers. Hasaranga is temperamental. Archer's temperamental. Tikshana is a good bowler, but he can suddenly have an off day. So they're stuck with 2 or 3 lead bowlers whose consistency is not their middle name. So they need a lot more from Sandeep Sharma, from Tushar Deshpande. But this bowling side will live based on how Jofra Archer comes back.
Well, something that Riyan Parag said was that they obviously were trying to get Quinton de Kock out earlier, which they couldn't. And then it just became about containing him and not really going for the wickets. So that's what happened.
Yeah, with 151 on the board, containing is not the way to go. You've just got to get him out. I mean, it's probably... It's not an easy answer for him if he said that in an interview, but there's no point in containing when you got 151 on the board. You have to get wickets.
Yes.
And, that was what they needed to be striving for. Find a way, find something different, maybe get Sandeep back and just bowl it wide, make him hit one in the air on the offside, something like that. There's a few things he could have tried, but I think from a batting point of view, they were, I know they made it look easy, Kolkata, but another 20 runs on that target, I don't think it looks anywhere near as easy as it does.
Well, that's the exact number that Riyan said as well, is that he probably were 20 runs short.
Yeah.
So they're feeling it now.
I also think there was a time when 150 could be a tricky score. And that was something I wanted to check today, whether 150 could become a tricky score or whether what we consider in our mind as a potentially tricky score has moved from 150 to 170 on tracks like these. Maybe that has happened. We saw that in Chennai, now we've seen that in Guwahati. But if I'm a hardcore RR fan, I'm thinking, but why am I playing in Guwahati? I can understand you want to take the game to different parts. I think Water brought it up, Shane Watson brought it up in commentary as well. You want to make your home ground the very best that you can make. And when RR were a very good side, they were constantly winning at home in Jaipur. So I just think if you want to be a serious contender, then you must maximize what is in your control, which is your 7 home games.
And it can't just be, look, these sides are making money out of the television rights deal. Hand over fist now. They've Rajasthan in particular are 10 times more valuable than they were when they were purchased 18 years ago. So it can't purely be about money. They have to think about a home venue. I mean, could you ever imagine Chennai moving away from Chipok?
They're forced to.
Unless they were forced to. But, or imagine Mumbai playing a game outside of Wankhede Stadium. It's just not going to happen. So when you're picking a team, at the moment, they're looking at a team for 2 different venues, completely different venues, because Rajasthan, Saiyami Singh normally plays really well. It's normally just a really good surface. So you're trying to look for a team at an auction for 2 different venues, which does not make it easy.
I mean, I remember many years ago when our great friend Warnie was still around, thankfully, and I asked him how much of a home advantage is there when everyone's played at these grounds. He said, it's just the angles,
Yeah.
He said, it's the angles, it's the way you set the field. There's a bowler who's coming in, you've seen that bowler bowl on this ground before. You know whether your backward point's got to be a couple of yards to his left. He said, it's all about the angles that you know on your home ground.
It's just the angles and not the curation.
That was the first thing he said. He said, as a captain, I know how to play my players at my ground because I know the angles, I know the field very well. Maybe he's thinking like a bowler, I don't know.
No, it is. It's the comfort. Okay, the surface, the workbench has a bit to do with it because you're probably more used to the conditions, but 9 times out of 10, it's just a good pitch. In most places you're going to go to. It's just a good surface, and every other team's played on a good surface before. But your home comforts, your home dressing room, there are little things that when you don't have to travel between games or a day, if you get back-to-back home games, there's little things that do make a big difference. And if you make it your fortress, and the teams that have been successful, the teams that have been successful in this competition have generally won, 70 to 80% of their home games.
And I genuinely think, across all sport, whether it's football or whether it's Davis Cup tennis or it's cricket, home advantage is a legitimate advantage. Unless you're doctoring pitches to make them unplayable for somebody else, which is almost a criminal thing to do in sport. But if you must have a home advantage. And so RR, if they're playing their games, they must get the kind of tracks that they think are best suited to their bowling lineup. So too with KKR. I saw something that the KKR curator has said. If I'm in the KKR team, I'm extremely unhappy with what he said. Because I'm not asking for a 120 surface. I'm just saying, give me a surface that my bowlers will be able to win me teams on. and to say, sorry, you don't, I'll prepare the pitches, you don't count. No. We're not asking you to make a 120 pitch, we're not asking you to make a 240 pitch. But I think home advantage in a tournament like the IPL is absolutely legitimate, and that will enhance the tournament. Because then winning away becomes so crucial.
And if he's not taking heed of what the home team want, I mean, are they not paying the stadium fees?
Yes.
They're not paying what's going on. I mean, if he's not taking heed of what the home team wants, then just move your franchise away. Move it somewhere else.
Well, he said the opposing team, the spinners did well, so why didn't the KKR spinners do well is what his
But that's not
reasoning was.
his job is not to pass opinion on a game.
Yes.
It's not what he's paid for.
I mean, I can understand if the KKR captain says, take all the grass out, rough it up, and make it an unplayable thing for us. No, he's not asking for that.
He just wanted to be spinner friendly.
He says, give me a track that is spinner friendly. I don't mind having, say, Chennai is going to be a 160 game. As soon as the Mumbai-Chennai game was over, I was walking across, and there's Ashwin, Vijay Shankar, the two local boys sitting there, looking at the surface, talking to the ground. With nothing illegitimate about that.
No.
So you must have home advantage, and that's very 100%. Good to have.
Well, that home advantage was something that Riyan Parag would have wanted today. It wasn't the best homecoming for him, but let's have a look at what happened in the points table, because KKR are off the mark and they've picked up those 2 points, and also they did it in decent time, Harsha, because they had 2.5 overs to spare. So then that net run rate column also will be happy.
I mean, sometimes people laugh at us when we talk about net run rate early in the tournament. Every single year, net run rate makes a difference. Didn't it last year?
Absolutely.
That great RCB CSK game, which we'll never forget. So, from that point of view, a very good result today for KKR.
All right. Tomorrow is going to be a run feast. And you know why? Because Hyderabad are taking on Lucknow. This is happening in Hyderabad. So we will go to the Hyderabadi in the house first. I know that Gaurav Kapoor has said, is bar 300 par. And is it going to be tomorrow? Just the translation is, are they going to go past 300 tomorrow?
Well, if LSG bat first, maybe not. You never know. Ooh. This was it in Hyderabad itself? Wasn't that 169 in 9 or 10
166
overs? 166
in 10 overs.
The word
against
carnage
LSG.
has been used many times around SRH this year. You know, sometimes if you are Lucknow, you can almost play to the arrogance of the other side. They've packed their side with batters. They're going to go boom, boom, boom. You say, right, now how am I going to play this? SRH understand those conditions very well. Home side has been given the surface that the home side wants there in Hyderabad. So they'll start overwhelming favourites. Yeah, I think they will be for another reason, that Lucknow are so short of bowlers. Yes. I mean, they've got Shardul Thakur now. I'm told that Avesh Khan has been cleared to play. I don't know if he's match fit. Being cleared by NCA is one thing, but he's being match fit. So it's a tricky one. I don't know, if I'm LSG, I want to bat first and just pile on the runs.
Well, you just have to bat first against Sunrise. The only time when we saw them falter last year, they had to bat second. They had to chase. That was when we saw them falter. If you give them the opportunity, that was why game one was just an enormous mistake. Afternoon game as well, and you give them the chance to bat first was just crazy. But you have to bat first, and you have to trust that.
Well, that toss is the important toss to win. Because if they don't, then you know.
You're every chance of chasing something like 260, 270 again.
Oh, 260 is nothing for Hyderabad.
Is that the new 180?
Yeah, 260
batting first is nothing for Hyderabad. Let's see how it is batting second. Exactly. Don't forget, there's a Nicholas Puran there. There's a David Miller there. If Rishabh Pant gets going, there's a Rishabh Pant there. There's players who can make 250 there too, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, we'll have a look at Lucknow squad first. Like you said, they've got those power hitters for them. The problem area.
There's Mitch Marsh there. Tell what he gets going.
Oh, we were saying the other night, it's a power-packed lineup.
Yeah, we can expect a 600-plus score totally tomorrow, but the problem is not the batting for Lucknow. The problem is the bowling department, Simon. What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? Did you say Avish might be fit? He has been cleared. So
he's been cleared by NCA. I don't know if he's match fit
Is
yet.
he bowling fit? Is he match fit? He probably comes in for Prince Yadav. If he is fit and ready to go. Other than that, I mean, I thought Shardul bowled nicely. You have to back Ravi Bishnoi to go well. I thought Siddharth bowled pretty nicely as well. So, you know, you've got to back the guys. If they were good enough in game one, they should be still good enough in game two, outside of a high-quality bowler who's fit and ready to go coming back into the side. So if Avesh is fit and he's been bowling and he's ready to go, then he should come straight back into the side. But other than that, you can't be throwing guys out after game one. If you think they're good enough in game one, they probably should still be good enough in game 2, 3 and 4 if that was your best team.
Tell you what, I'd love to see those 4 get going. Marsh, Miller, Pooran, Pant. Those 4 get going. I mean, Markram's a good player. He's not got a reputation being a big hitter. Those 4 get going with Badoni behind them. It'll be a good game.
Well, we know that they are the big hitters and we hopefully have Avesh coming in as well. But it almost feels like should Zach come in and bowl? That's what it's come to right now. He was giving those, powery speeches in the dressing room. But just a word on Pant's captaincy, because we saw those visuals which last year, you know what happened with KL Rahul and the owner. There was again visuals of the owner with Rishabh Pant. Nothing blew off
No,
the
too
lid.
early for that. Too early for that.
Blew off the lid. But just Pant's captaincy because he didn't bowl Shardul in the last over, which is surprising, you think?
It was a travel day for me. So I saw bits and pieces of that game. I didn't see all of it. So I don't think I'm in a position to...
So Shardul bowled really well.
Yeah, I saw the bowling figures. I saw that he got 2 wickets in the first over, and then he never bowled after 2 overs again.
That's how we were surprised. I mean, look, and I get the punt, for want of a better term, in the last over. I understood that. Right-hander at the crease, number 11, and if he's taken the catch, he stumps him and it's game over. So he's missed it himself. Yes, it clipped the leg, but he's actually, Rishabh Pant has missed that opportunity to win that game for his team by dropping that ball.
Yes.
So I think that was worth an option. Bringing Shardul on to defend 6 in the last over.
Yeah.
It's a snick and it's gone, game's done. So I get that one. I just think he should have bowled about 15. 14, 15 or 16, he should have bowled an over in there, at least one. So he probably missed a trick on that occasion.
The other thing I'd like them to notice is where the non-striker is when the ball is delivered. It wasn't a few inches outside. The non-striker was way outside.
Yes.
They should have run him out. Straight away, they run Ashutosh out of the non-strikers in.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of learnings from the previous match. Your player to watch out for from Lucknow.
From Lucknow, it's always Nicholas Pooran, but I want to see Pant. I mean, Pooran is exciting.
Yes.
I want to see Pant get runs.
Well, the battle is going to be, for me, obviously at the top of the order for Sunrisers and through the middle with the spins. So Ravi Bishnoi.
Interesting.
Bishnoi, to maybe try and stem the flow
Who's also all right
through the middle.
Manimaran Siddharth.
Siddharth bowled well. He bowled well in the
well.
last
Oh,
game.
really nice.
But you know what they're up against? The Hyderabad Sunrisers, who are in red-hot form. And we've seen Ishan Kishan come back in that red-hot form. So good to see him get those runs. But do you see any changes at all after that game?
No, what I'd like to see is, I think they did something interesting. They sent Aniket Verma up. They sent Abhinav Manohar up. I think Pat Cummins is a very, very clean striker of the ball. I can understand Abhinav Manohar as well. But I'd like to see Pat Cummins not undermine his own batting skills, because he definitely possesses those. So I'd like to see him look after himself a little bit more as a batter. But look at that list. Who am I looking forward to in there? I'd like to see Ishan Kishan to see if he can replicate that form.
You know, before I get to your player to watch out for, we've spoken so much about the batting for Hyderabad. But they did give away 240 runs. So the bowling is something that they would want to go back and say that, okay, these are our learnings and that's what we want to probably learn for our next game.
Yeah, and if you're going to play on flat pitches, you have to accept that your bowlers are going to fetch as well at times. As long as we get more runs than they do, I don't really care how many my bowlers go for. Because you have to have that attitude. As long as we get more runs than them, that's fine. Because we're going to play on pitches that are going to suit batting. You've just got to accept that you're going to go for runs. And if you can accept that you go for runs but we still win, as a team philosophy, we are going to be okay with that.
Doull, would you have ever anticipated Jofra Archer 4 over 76, Pat Cummins 4 over 60? These are two big draws.
Not at all. And that's just one of those things, as I say, from a Hyderabad point of view, your bowling unit is going to need a lot of cuddles, a lot of just, it's all right, mate, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay, especially when you're playing at home. We've won the game. Don't beat yourself up. We've won the game. It's going to be okay.
I almost, I feel like you should go into that camp and do that because he was doing it with so much love for the bowler, but your player to watch out
Actually,
for.
if you look at the bowlers there,
Yes.
there's some serious bowlers in
Yes,
that team. Cummins
absolutely.
himself, proper bowler. There's Mohammad Shami, there's Adam Zampa.
Harshal Patel.
Harshal Patel requires a little grip in the surface sometimes, but still someone who's taken 32 wickets in a season 1 year. So there's some serious bowling there.
Well, the other one is my man to watch out for. I really like. I think this kid can play for India in the next 2 or 3 years.
Simranjit Singh. Bowled well for CSK, if you remember, a couple of times.
Only had 7 opportunities previously before this season. But I think there's something about him. He's just got a great little whip to his wrist. I think he's in the mid 140s, and I think there's a lot to like about Simranjit. So just keep an eye on him through the season. But I think there's a lot to like about his pace. According to when he was at CSK, he's got a heart. He's got a bit of a ticker, and just keep an eye out for him because if he's going to have to bowl on that for 7 games.
I'll tell you something about
he's going to need a ticker. I'll tell you.
I'll tell you something else about Doull. Someone who runs in with a good bowling action and bowls a good outswinger.
You won him right
He's
there.
Dooley's man.
You won him right there.
You had me at outswinger.
Yes. And you said it was Ishan Kishan for you, right?
Just to see how that
he
form
follows
goes.
up.
Yeah, how that form goes.
All right, you'll have heard it. One thing's for sure, I can promise you, is going to be a whole lot of runs tomorrow. So come prepared with your popcorn because the ball's going to be flying out of the park very often. Now we need to get to that point of the show where we don't have answers.
He had one, didn't
No,
He
I
had
was
2.
completely wrong.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
You tried. The confidence you went with, Simon,
I know.
tricked us there. This international cricketer featured for 6 franchises in the Indian T20 League, starting with Chennai in 2010, but won his player of the match with Hyderabad. Name him.
That was a cruel one, actually, because now, I know the answer now, but I'm trying to think what the link with...
Someone...
This game would have
Did
been.
you get the answer or did you
I'll be honest, I thought it was someone like a James Neesham. Because simply because he got 5 wickets today and Joy normally tends to have a little
ties things in,
topical stuff. So I thought it was James Neesham. I mean, people obviously got it online, so then I went and checked. So
All
it
right.
wasn't Neesham.
Let's have a look at who it is. It's not Neesham. Well, it was Pereira and I had no idea.
Tisara Pereira.
Yes.
Tisara Pereira. He played.
But what's the connection?
He went round. Maybe there's no connection. Maybe Joy just
Why
bowled.
is he bowling
Joy's
those
going off
googlies
chart.
to us?
He's going off chart here. He's throwing curveballs.
Not done. We're just about managing and you're just throwing these googlies. Let's have a look at who's got it correct because we had no idea. Lavjot Singh has gotten this correct. Well, we all think it's Joyda because we haven't seen this name before. So,
and
the creativity.
obviously, he's been watching the telecast. He's been seeing Sherry. He's been seeing Sidhu. And he thought, okay, I'll make Lavjot.
So, Lavjot, please tag us and tell us if you are real or if you're one of those Joyda accounts because we need to know who the real ones are. What we don't need to know.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
bad day. Bad
No,
day.
it's okay. It's okay. Show it.
Bad.
Because
Why?
Why? Because I never get on anyway. So, if you're a backbencher,
I can't
then
be
it
on
doesn't matter.
0.
Let's look at Dooley. Can we put that up? Let's see where Dooley is. I know he's got a 50, but did he add anything today?
No.
Still smiling up there, though.
He's come clattering down to 37.5.
It's all right. I'm like Hyderabad will be flying tomorrow. I'm flying tomorrow, and so I've got like 8 or 9 days to just sit
Stay
at the top
up,
and watch everybody just fall away.
Okay, why are Joy Bhattacharya and Murli Karthik above me, and why are the 2 of us at the bottom?
Exactly, they're all 0. I think
Because
they've
you've had
played
a
more
go.
games.
So they haven't had a turn.
No,
have
they've
they?
had a go, but we've played more.
You've had more
We've had
games.
more guesses, is what I guess.
Right. You've had more games.
This is the only guessing that I get correct. So.
Okay. I mean, it's not fair.
Life's not fair, Harsha.
I
Let's
mean,
get on with it.
I was on the phone to Dooley saying, what should I do yesterday?
Try being a bowler.
Life's not fair, especially if you're
we
a
went
bowler in the
today. I tell you why we
IPL.
went wrong today, because there was a game in Guwahati in the past where 237 and 221 were made.
Yeah, but I also told you all they made 197 and 145. So, I don't know. I have my reasons, but I won't say them on air, why I went with the scores I went for. Because, well, there was a team that I was supporting today. So, those were my reasons. So, I have my excuses ready. I don't know about both of you, though.
No excuse.
Yeah. Well, I know that I can go on with this, but you have a flight to catch, so we won't do that. And you'll be coming back tomorrow.
And day after.
Oh,
so I've
that's
got many
lovely.
opportunities to go zooming up that board.
Oh, I like that confidence. I really like that
Even the
confidence. that she's
producer is
rubbed off.
laughing in my ear. Gee, how bad can that get?
Well, we are all rooting for Harsha Bhogle because we really want him to go up those charts. Send in your support for both of us because we are really struggling. I will not be here tomorrow, so I can't get off the mark, but I really do hope you get off the mark. Thank you so much for making this.
good
You all
fun.
did trouble me. I have to tell you all that.
You
But-
invited it, but it's...
Yeah, you all did trouble me, but thank you so much for making it so much fun. And everyone who watched, thank you so much for watching Voltas Fresh Air Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. We will be back tomorrow at 7, so see you all there.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲನೆ
Hyderabad Voltas Express. Railway Station, Netaji Bhogle.